Welcome to the channel. This is my second video today. Today is November 4th, 2024. I made a video earlier today talking about Warren Buffett and what he might be selling. And I was doing some of my reading. I came across this interesting article in Barron's that I wanted to share with you today. So let's get straight into it. Doing my reading today, I came across this article that said the world is $100 trillion in debt, and here's your share of it. And what I found to be interesting in this article, and the reason why I wanted to share this article, as you know, I'm a bear on the stock market. I believe the stock market is completely overvalued. This has been the highest or most overvalued market that I've ever seen. That includes the 2000 bubble. So as you know, I sold all my stocks except Verizon and AT&T, and we're waiting. We're not timing the market or anything like that. We just believe that the stock market is overvalued. So we're hoping one day, we don't know when, we don't know why, we don't know how it's going to come about, but we do know when the stock market does fall, it comes fast, it comes hard. So the best that you can do is have cash on the sideline. When I say cash on the sideline, as you know from my videos, that means in short-term treasury bills, they call them T-bills. I've made several videos on how you can buy them on Treasury Direct, or I use Charles Schwab and I purchase my T-bills there. Right now, when about a year ago, you can get about a little over 5% for it. That's now down to 4.65. But I believe that's a decent return. And I believe it's a return that's going to outperform the stock market. And it's a place to position your capital until this storm do come that I'm predicting. So back to the article, the $100 trillion in debt and what it may mean and how it may trigger. At some point, America is going to have to address this debt. They're going to have to. The world is going to have to address this debt. And as you can see from this chart here, just only in 2021, the world was only $20 trillion in debt. And maybe the US was down to like 5. Now here we are in 2024, over 102, and America's portion of that is $35 trillion. They're going to have to address that. And the only way they're going to be able to address that across America, across the world, is to raise taxes or significantly decrease America's spending. They got to do it one or the other. And what does that mean? Like right now, if we're running a $1.9 trillion deficit in 2024, that's money that's being added in that we're borrowing, that's going into our GDP, that we're borrowing, that doesn't count. It's the government is not taking that money in and then spending it. So that's helping our growth. That's helping the stock market. I believe that's helping everything. And one day soon, that's going to have to come to an end. And let me show you why on here, why that's going to have to come to an end. We're not going to go over it. In this article, it shows how much how much of the debt is to you, and how much is the debt to every individual in the world and also in the United States. But here's the most scary moment that we're going to have to take care of, and we're going to have to take care of it really soon. And that means we're going to have to probably a combination of both: lower spending and raise taxes to bring more income in. So on this right here, this shows how much Social Security, how much it costs us per year for Social Security, interest costs on U.S. debt, national defense, and Medicare. Those are our main bills that we have. And as you can see on here, for the first time ever, or I believe since World War II, right after World War II, the American debt is now cost more than national defense. And think about that. I mean, we're supplying ammunition, to countries to help with the wars that they got going on. We have all our soldiers that we pay. We have all the equipment. We have all these U.S. bases. We have all of the DOD civilians, and we're spending $874 billion. So on interest on our 35%, $35 trillion in debt, we're paying $882 billion. And what may happen, and it may be going on right now, and I don't know, but as I talked about in a prior video, since the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates by 50 basis points, the 10-year yield, which they really can't affect, that's affected by how much money people are willing to basically loan the US government. Those interest rates came from 3.87 up to date at about 4.31. So that means that the yield, so the yield on our debt that's coming due, and as we have to issue new debt, that means the yield is going to be higher, which means if they raised a lot of capital, which they did in 2000, 2001 during COVID, then those were probably like 2%, 1%, real low interest rates. And now that they raised them, it's the same thing as home loans. Back, during the pandemic, you can get a home loan for, 2.5%, something like that. Now it's all the way up to 7%. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people aren't buying homes, besides that the prices are so high. And I was thinking to myself today, man, I'm 51. And what a time to be living. I lived in the pandemic, and I might be one of the people, and some of y'all out there too, it might have to live through the crisis of America finally having to stop their spending and start trying to pay down some of this debt that we have. Because if not, we're going to be in trouble. It just can't keep growing. It can't grow to the sky. Our kids, they always say our kids is going to have to pay for it because we're borrowing the money now and spending it, which is kind of selfish, on our part. We enjoying it. America is lack of a better word, is great right now. We have the highest standard of living in the world. We got disposable income. We don't repair anything anymore. We basically just, your TV break, there ain't no shops to really take it to. All you can really do is throw it away. And they're so cheap, pretty much. And we got so much abundance of money that we just go buy a new one. That's the American we living in today. I don't know if it's going to last that long. I don't want to scare anybody out there, but we're going to have to correct this. We're going to have to correct our spending, which I believe is going to correct the stock market. That might be one of them. It might be the Japanese carry trade. It could be many of things that causes a downturn in the stock market. But the only thing you can do as an individual is to be ready to take advantage when those stocks get down and become really cheap. But this might be it right here. And it's hard, as the way our election system is. No one's going to elect a president that's going to say we're going to lower taxes. No, we're going to raise taxes. We're going to lower spending. We have to get this debt under control. No one's going to do that. No one's going to do that. If President Trump get elected, he might want to take it on. I mean, he's talking about lowering taxes. I mean, all across the board, lowering tax on tips, lowering taxes on overtime, all this stuff he's talking about doing. He's talking about doing all this stuff, but none of it is correcting or looking at the debt that we have. And that's really a waste. That's really a waste. I mean, just imagine if you had a household, you had your house, you had your car, you had daycare, you got food, and your second largest expense. So let's say your second largest expense besides your home that you're paying for is the interest that you're paying on credit cards, and you're not paying any of the principal back. That's what we're doing. We're spending almost $1 trillion on just paying the interest of our debt and not paying any of our debt back. That might be the cause of it, because someone is going to have to get up the courage, Congress, Senate, they're going to have to get up the courage to start lowering this debt. They're going to have to. They're going to have to, because if it just keeps building out of control, it's going to be higher than Social Security. This is really scary, people. This is really scary. But if you like this content, please subscribe, please like, please share. It'll help some of your friends get ready, because all I'm doing is trying to make some money and be ready. And I actually think because of this, we might have even higher yields in the future, which will allow you to make more money on your interest that you loan to the government. I don't think the government is going to go broke. They'll cut back, they'll cause inflation, they'll do something like that to make this a little bit easier on us. But they're going to have to do something about it. So again, if you like this content, please like, please share, please follow, and good luck investing.